everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and having a fantastic weekend, as it's a Sunday when I'm just recording this voiceover. We've been having some really lovely weather. The start of the video makes it look like it's quite cloudy. It was for a couple of days. But the last the weekend really has been absolutely beautiful. So I hope it's sunny wherever you are. So we've had a really busy weekend. So Saturday we spent quite a lot of time trying to get back on top of the house. I wanted to do quite a lot of work on my daughter's bedroom, but my husband made a very good point that we need downstairs to be tidied up and sorted out. After we've come back from holiday, there's still quite a lot to sort. And then I did so much work yesterday in the lounge, that's then made the lounge untidy. But I can't get the lounge tidy until I've sorted out the dining room. Don't you find that? It's like a deck of cards. You spend some time, say, on one room, but you can't do everything in that room because you need to do something in the other room. So then you go into the other room, but you can't finish that job because that's dependent on another room being tidy. I just feel like sometimes it's like chasing your tail. So out in the breezy weather, when I first put the washing out, I really wanted to get as much finished drying, washing, etc. after holiday. So like I said to you the other day, I did most of the washing the day before we left Italy, but there were a few things that just needed to be left, mostly our travel clothes and a couple of towels and bits and pieces like that. There was also a very small amount of washing in both of our linen baskets, so I just got all that out and thought it's going to be windy, then it's going to be sunny, so I can get everything out on the line and all nice and dry. So I start off with the video of that. Then what I embarked on yesterday is, goodness me, sorting out these pens and pencils. So you saw a little bit of it in my last video, but I've done much more. So this is going to be the third big bag that I've given away. So I gave away a massive, I just advertised on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, to say that I'd got loads of pens, pencils, crayons suitable for like someone with young children. I was sort of thinking maybe if someone's not got that much money, haven't got much in terms of like family, where people, my daughter's been given so much from family and friends. So I had a lady collect loads before, and I said, would you also be interested in some of the educational books that I had, because my daughter had got duplicates, or there was some sections that she'd done a little tiny bit of, but the most of the book was empty, and she was very, very keen to take all of them. So I was pleased about that. I did see one of the ladies that I do guides with, of course, spotted my post and messaged me and said, wouldn't these be suitable for brownies or guides? And I did sort of think I didn't actually reply to the message, because I thought if I wanted to give them to brownies and guides, then I would have, wouldn't I? I wouldn't, I don't understand why she'd think that I'd need prompting. There must be a specific reason why I don't want to give them to brownies and guides. And there is a specific reason. That's because if I take them to our guides unit and then I see certain pencils, certain things in my home, I will start thinking, oh, I'd like to take them back. Or I wish I hadn't given those pencils away, or whatever. Whereas if I just give them away to someone that I don't know, or give them to a little toddler group or nursery group, they'll take them, use them, and I will never see them again. And that just makes it easier for me to get rid of them. That's how I feel. It's a little bit like this big sale that we're preparing for, that there'll be some things that I don't want to sell. Or I'll start questioning, do I really want to get rid of that? Do I really want to sell that? So some of the things I've just given to the charity shop and got rid of them, and I'll forget about them. And then some of the things I am quite happy to sell and get rid of, and that's not going to bother me. So I've tried to organise things like that. So even though I got rid of all those pens, pencils and crayons before, we've got rid of loads and loads more. Loads more. There were some extra ones that my daughter wanted to get rid of, but there were some like I've had from like when I was about 8 or 9 or 10, and I didn't want to get rid of them. So it's no point forcing yourself to get rid of things that you really are not ready to get rid of. That's my thought about it. Yes, so that was really good having a a clear out. It did make me laugh though. You might spot it in the video. I after we've spent loads of time sorting out pens, pencils and crayons, I then went into the dining room and found loads more. And then I opened another pencil case which I thought was empty and found loads more. So you can see me in the video at the moment sorting out the haul. Now, I do sometimes think, I was talking to a colleague at work and he was saying about how his partner keeps the house immaculate and how she's so tidy and how she's so efficient in the house. And I was sitting there and thinking, like, I'm not, and I'm open about that. And I said to him, oh dear, you should see my house, I'm really untidy. But after I'd said that, he continued, oh yeah, she's really good in the house, really, really laying it on thick. And I listened and said, oh, that's really good that she's, that efficient and, tidying up around after her and tidying up around him. And it does sometimes makes you reflect on things, doesn't it? I think I've said before about how we have got too much in the house, but then also there's so many extra things that we have in our house because of some of the extra things that we do, like with music. I mean, my dining room would almost be empty if we had no musical interest. And then you could see a little bit before on the video how I was sitting and sorting out all the holiday receipts. Anybody else, they'd go on holiday and bin all the receipts or not even have receipts. With me, you'll see that I've got a peg and I'm pegging them all together because I've got to keep a log of all the receipts. I've then at some point in time got to write up my documented list because I've already done some of my receipts. I need to then put it onto a spreadsheet. I need to log every single receipt, the date, the amount, whether I can claim for or not in terms of business expenses, because obviously not all of we spent some time for work while we were away, but a lot of it was not work. So I'll need to sort out all the dates and everything. That all takes time. So it's like, and then I've got a pile, that's an extra thing that I've got to do. So I think sometimes it's the amount of extra paperwork we have in our house because of our work. We end up having so many things more to do, sort out, etc., etc. I also started going through all the mail from when we were away. Nothing really exciting, only one exciting piece of mail. Everything else, the normal bills, insurance things to sort out, etc., etc. But the exciting item was we sent our postcards from Vatican City. So we sat in the post office in Vatican City and wrote out all the postcards, and my daughter wanted to send one to us. So we sent one to ourselves and it had arrived. So that was nice. And she was pleased because there was a very clear Vatican City postmark, which of course would be quite rare for a lot of people to get. My godmother actually collects postcards, so I hope she spots the Vatican City postmark. I hope it's a clear one on her postcard. So you can see, compared to what the haul was like, I've sorted out a great deal, and it's much, much better. I didn't show you the stairs. There's shed loads of things sitting on the stairs, so it's not all good news. It's not all perfect. I do like to brush all the way. People often say to me about using a hoover. I just like to use a brush on my skirting boards and the bottom of my radiator. And then I like to hoover afterwards, but I couldn't find my handheld hoover. And that reminds me to say, I also want to get rid of this rug. You see, it's got a mark on it, and I'm just generally I'm not keen on it. I've had it for quite some time. I'm ready to change. And then you can start seeing the work that we do with all the stationery. I think most people would agree. We just, when I was a child, we just never would have had this amount of stationery. I loved stationery as a child, and my daughter loved stationery. So she particularly likes Lagami. Don't know whether you've heard of that stationery range or whether that's kind of reached you. It's a Milan Italian company. So we were quite excited finding it in Milan the first time a couple of years ago. And then we found that that's also stocked in various shops in England. So I don't know whether that's gone to like America and Canada and other parts of Europe. But yeah, we both love stationery, but I never ever had this sort of volume. I never did. And she's been bought some really good quality felt tips and crayons, others that really just a complete well, dreadful waste in terms of the energy required to create them when they've only lasted a couple of weeks and then they're dried out. I've got some felt tips in this pile that I've had since I was 10. Can you believe that still work and still work well? But we started off doing the whole like with like thing, like you've all told me. So we did a pile of felt tips, did a pile of pencil crayons, and did a pile of pencils and then writing pens. And then we sorted through. There's no reason to have 10 yellow pencil crayons, is there? So that's why we managed to get rid of loads. We've got some highlighters and markers, but again, you don't need 20. There's some really lovely pencils. I do like writing with a pencil, so there were some that I just, I just don't feel there's any need to get rid of some. But there was some pencil, because they work and they're good and they will be used. But there are some pencils that you sharpen once and the lead just breaks. And I thought, well, these aren't suitable to go to charity or to give away. I just need to put them in the bin or burn them on the fire. So we spent a long time doing this. So this video is fast forwarded by about 6 times, I think. As you can see, we obviously tested them all first of all and then decided what to do. So if they went into the grey container, they were ones to be kept. They went into the plastic bag, they were ones to be given away. So there was quite a lot in the end that needed to be given away. And I do show you a clip of that, so because I know some of you particularly like to see what we get rid of, all the things that are leaving the house. Can you see that little highlighter in the shape of a lolly? My daughter really likes that, but it doesn't work properly. Yes, she really likes it, but it doesn't work properly. So what is the point of keeping it? And she's really good with this. She was like, well, yeah, I like it, but the lead keeps breaking. Or actually that's broken and we can't take it back to the shop because I've had it for so long. The shop doesn't sell it anymore. It just cracked after I used it once. Okay, well, we should have taken it back earlier. We haven't. Now is the time to get rid of it. Despite going on this journey of tidying up and decluttering, which, as you know, originally just started as a getting tidier journey, and then you all told me that I had too much stuff. And so I kind of realised and my focus changed with your advice and guidance. But I do feel like my house is in a constant state of being untidy. I don't feel it's ever tidy. Ever. Not at all. But what I'm hoping is the more stuff we get rid of, the easier it's all going to become. That's what I keep on thinking. I did loads of work in the dining room today and my daughter said, oh, that means it's going to be easier when it's my birthday. There'll be less tidying up work to do before my birthday. I said, yes, that's right, because it shouldn't be about having these massive, great, grand tidy up, should it? When you know loads of people are coming round. So I just think the more we get rid of, the easier it's going to be. That's what my philosophy is. I'm going to do another video fairly soon on my front window with all my plants. There's a couple of plants that I've lost that I need to get rid of, but also there's a couple of pots that I looked at that I just don't like. I think, what is the point? Why am I keeping them when I really don't like them? I've got a plant that's not in a pot when I've got loads of spare pots. So, yeah, I need to do some sorting out and clearing out. No point keeping something if you don't like it. That bag my mum gave me, I kept the little item that I didn't know what it was to begin with. And then I realised it was an egg cup, but for 2 eggs, boiled eggs. I put that in my cabinet. And just before I went on holiday, I looked at that and thought, I've put that in my cabinet because it belonged to a family member that's now passed away. My mum had it in her loft for 30 years, been passed to me because it got my name on it. They were the things that I thought my future self would want. Actually, I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't need it. I need to get rid, in my daughter's words. So I want to clear out my cabinet in my lounge a bit more because I can see now how it is cluttered. So I just need to go back through that and see what I can get rid of or put in different places. So I show you a quick video of the items that I get rid of. Big bag. So there's rubbers, pencil sharpeners, pens, pencils, felt tips, some pens that I've been keeping hold of that really write not very good at all, and then a bag of rubbish. I also sharpened all the pencils. So that will start the year afresh. So we'll not go to the box and just find all the pencils are blunts. And you can see how bad my rug is. My rug is absolutely covered with the bits. And there was one pen that you might see on the video that had got a unicorn on the top and pink feathers. And as I picked it up, all the pink feathers started to fall everywhere. So I've got a carpet covered in pink feathers. So this angle of the video, you can see all the piles of stuff that I need to sort out. The pile of the pencils, crayons and felt tips that I'm giving away, and the pile of rubbish. And no doubt when I advertise this pile of pens and say I've got loads suitable for, young children, free to a good home, I'll probably get that same guide leader messaging me saying, why don't you give these to guides? Why don't you give these to brownies? Because I don't want to, because I'll look at them and think, oh, I wish I hadn't given them away. Oh, I want them back now. So that's why. It's incredible, isn't it? I've not been back home long. So we got back on Tuesday at about 11 o'clock at night. And then we obviously didn't get up that early on the Wednesday. But we were at home Wednesday trying to sort out stuff. And then Thursday and Friday I was working. And yesterday this is supposed to be the summer holidays where you have a break from the volunteering. And you know how much I enjoy the volunteering, but this is the summer holidays. And I get a message saying, I hope you had a nice holiday. Can you drop in your camping book? My licence that I was going on months ago. I did take it round her house just before we went on holiday, knocked on her door and she didn't answer. And I couldn't put it through the letterbox because it wasn't in an envelope, and I thought all my bits of evidence are going to go all across her floor. But she's messaging me about that. I don't know. I've got so many things to do, and sometimes, do you feel like this, that people just sort of get on at you a bit? I just want to be left alone for a few days after coming back from holiday, not being asked to drop round my guiding book. I do think as I watched the video back, it started to look like it was getting worse before it was getting better. And that's because my husband brought back through the big box. Now, what I've really struggled with is there were piles and piles and books worth of all the work that my daughter has done extra to her schoolwork. Through holidays, extra homework after school. She's done so much. And I really didn't want to get rid of it. But then I said to her about it and she said, oh yes, that's all the stuff that I've done. And I'm happy to, I don't, why are we keeping it? And I thought, she's right. She's right. We don't need to. I know that she did it. She knows that she did it. She knows how hard she worked. So do we. We don't need to keep all the evidence. So we did get rid of a big pile that was being stored in that box, because that box should be about new pieces of paper or scrap paper, just to new scrap notes on, or coloured cards or envelopes. Should be all the stationery things we need. I also decided it's not for craft items. So what I mean by that is actually like craft sets, like button set, bead set. She's got a peg doll set, actual sets of craft items. That's not the place. The dining room's not the place for that. And the big paper and card box is not the place for that. It does include things like glue and some pencil cases. So it's more of like stationery as opposed to ending up being a craft corner. And that was what was happening. It was turning into a craft and toy area, which is not what we want in the dining room. So I am listening to all of you when you say like with like. Make sure you want, agree which area. So you can, like, for instance, we have the craft items in the front room, in the front dining room cupboards at the moment. So therefore, we don't want craft items also in the dining room. But of course, I have also got craft items in the playroom, haven't I? But that might change. But I can only sort out one place at a time, try to get one area sorted and cleared and tidied. I think it is going to be a case of this journey is going to go on for quite some time, really, until I have taken so many more items out of the house. That's my big focus. And when you really look at this video at the moment, you think the amount of stuff in that container that we've accumulated. And what I've said to my daughter and to my husband, now in the corner of the dining room, we will just have the big box, the small box, and the wicker basket. The wicker basket, you will see how I change everything when we get to that part of the video, and look out for my next video where I do more on that. But at the moment that's got some extra things in, but I need to go through like schoolwork from last year and just really decide what needs to be kept and what can be got rid of. So we spent, well, quite some time really on all of this, but I do now feel like, given this is the second time in a fairly short period of time that we've gone through these pens, pencils, and the craft box and all the the maths and English books box, I'm quite pleased with how much I managed to get rid of. So it's like the second layer really for this particular area of the dining room. So that was good. And I just decided to bring the box out of the dining room here because I felt like it was easier to sort away from the area. So that's why I sat in here and cleared it all up. But of course now I've got lots to sort out in the lounge. There's not much, can't really see the rug or the wooden floor much at all. So there's lots to sort out. Can you see in the top left hand corner there's a balloon. When we came home, somebody had attached the balloon to the back door. It made me jump, but I saw it and immediately knew my daughter would love it. We managed to inflate it a little bit because we've got some helium in a canister, but it's deflated rapidly over the course of the day. So yeah, I spend quite a lot of time on this. So what I'm going to do now is just read through a few more of your comments. So first comment just to go through. So Brooke said, I meant to ask if you have been recording the Olympics while you're in Italy or if you're catching some of them. When I was upstairs earlier, I heard that the UK did well in a few events. Well, the last accommodation we were in for the last sort of 10 evenings, there was no television at all, which actually I liked. I'm not a big lover of TV, but we did see a couple of clips of it as we walked past with some of the other accommodations. So our neighbours opposite had the Olympics on all the time. But what I would say is this time I had decided to boycott the Olympics for a number of different reasons. I'm sure those of you that followed me for a while would know. Firstly, I found the opening ceremony totally unacceptable and blasphemous, and I found it quite upsetting to think that somebody could possibly portray something so important in the way that it was portrayed. I also don't agree with some of the competitions, some of the people who've won gold medals when I don't feel like they should have been competing within certain competitions. But then my husband did say to me about our British athletes, and he said, it's all very well you boycotting, and I do understand why you're boycotting, but think of all those athletes that have been working for this for the last 4 years, 8 years, their whole lives, just because of that opening ceremony and because of few competitions that you don't agree with. How can you not support them? And I thought, actually you are right. My husband actually said that's what the devil would want, and I thought, actually I can see what you mean. So yesterday we watched the 4x4 where the British men got bronze, and the 4x4 relay with the women where we also got bronze. I desperately wanted Ireland to get bronze and us to get silver, but sadly Ireland came fourth. Which reminds me, we have not now heard anything from Barbara in Ireland for more than a month. So I do hope that she's okay. I do hope she's okay. Right, another post here. Your follower, I do apologise that I forgot her name, is correct. If more parents use our parenting style, it would make a healthier world. The words that we use with our children help not only in the here and now, but they become the inner voice for the future. I love that, Brooke. That's so right. After watching the jousting, did your daughter want a medieval maiden dress? I just know that your husband wants a pair of tights. Maybe tall boots too. Thank you for sharing the jousting. It was fantastic. We loved that night. I also agree with your husband. Your heart is a muscle, and my walking videos definitely get my heart rate up much more than walking outdoors do. I'm going to take you up on this. Can you remind me, Brooke, what YouTube you follow for your exercise? What your walking videos are? I'd like to look at that. I'd like to do something each day. Because I really noticed when I was climbing that mountain on holiday, and also like I've just been out for a walk today, and I find if I'm walking and talking a lot, then I start getting out of breath quicker. Cook Mum, Andreas from America says, "Oh, sweet Emma, I'm dying of laughter." It must have been something in my video that she thought was funny. Well, my sweet friend, throw all those bottles in the bin. So, this is about the mosquitoes biting me. I am so proud of you to realise that it isn't working. So Andrea is looking forward to when I declutter and get rid of all the mosquito repellents, which I am going to be doing. It's funny, I was telling my sister the story of going up the mountain and the guide and rushing down, and how a whole load of things were going through my mind on the way down, such as what if the guide turned into being like a bit of a psycho, because it was like 3 of us, him. He knows how to get down the mountain. We've got no clue. We are completely and utterly dependent upon him. And I'm trying to, safely help and protect an 11-year-old. Then I also kept thinking, what if he went so far into the distance that I couldn't actually see him anymore, which did a couple of times happen. But I thought, what if that just happened? I can't get down this mountain and there's wolves and bears around me. And then I did tell you all, didn't I, about how suddenly I smell like cow manure, and there was a bull literally 2 meters away from me, and I shined my torch at it and it scared it. I thought that could come after me, couldn't it? And then as I was trying to sort out my light, all these flies were going in my eyes, and as I shouted for help, they were going in my mouth and in my nose, and I was coughing and spluttering. Not the guide, I'm sure, just thought, oh, what is this ridiculous woman doing? Not used to going up and down mountains like me and complaining about a few flies in her mouth. Yeah, but he hadn't told us to hold the head torch, had he? I put the head torch on my head. It was quite funny because while we were away on holiday, the 3 of us played this game where what you do is you set your phone up to record the 2 of you, and 2 people close their eyes, and then one person asks questions such as, who is the tidiest? And then you point at the other person, and then you watch back the video. It's good fun. I recommend that you do it with family, friends. It's funny. Then one of the questions might be, who's best at maths, or who's best at English? Well, one of the questions for me, I think it was me and my husband, because I also did it with me and my daughter and my husband, who is the funniest? And they both said me. And I was like, really? Do you think so? I wonder whether they're laughing with me or at me. So the last comment that I'm going to go through today. So Carolyn said, Emma, are you still in Italy? Now, Carolyn had said before about how long I'd been and how long I've been away. We do tend to go away for 3 weeks before we've been away for a month. But I am conscious of the fact that grandparents like to see my daughter, and there's also so many things locally that we want to see. But yeah, we do tend to go away for a decent amount of time. I said back, no, I'm home now. I got home a few days ago, and you'll see me with my unpacking nightmare. And Carolyn replied, welcome home. Tell me you had a day or 2 at home before work. And as I've already said earlier in this video, yes, we had a day and then I was back to work. But Saturday and Sunday obviously off together. Tomorrow, my husband's going into his head office with the car. I've got a man coming to look about the tiling area. So you know the bit under the hot tub? We've had all our patio done. Well, my husband did all that. But we want the area underneath the hot tub done. My daughter's itching to get in the hot tub this summer. So he's going to look at that. And then I'm going to get in the car with him and my daughter, and we're going to go to a house to look at some decorating that he's going to do for me. So we'll do that. And then he said that he'd drop me in the city because I haven't got a car. But actually, I can just walk into Norwich because it's really, really close. So we're going to go into Norwich and have a little look round, some shops, get some few bits and pieces ready for school, and go into all the shops that my daughter likes going to. So probably stationery shops, clothes shops, and that shop that I really like that's got all the household bits and pieces. So then Tuesday, I'm working Tuesday morning, and Tuesday afternoon I'm going out with my mum and my daughter. Then Wednesday, I'm not working. I will work for a couple of hours in the evening on Wednesday, Thursday, just to keep in the loop and just to keep up to date. But I won't be working during the day because I'll have the day off with my daughter. Thursday and Friday is the same. Now, Thursday, I'm a bit apprehensive about because my daughter's got treatment on her tooth at the dentist. So we've been waiting for this for nearly a year. Basically, her two back bottom teeth came in, and when they went up through the gum, they had no enamel. Now, I've looked into this quite extensively myself, and the dentist confirmed what I said, what I found out. What it can be is either when the baby's still, you're pregnant with the baby, or when the baby's just newly born and the teeth are developing in the gum, that if at the same time that the teeth are developing, does the mother or the baby have antibiotics or vaccines at a certain period in time that can affect the development of your teeth, can you believe? So her two back bottom teeth came in with no enamel. I was very, very distressed and upset about this because she's had a very, very good diet. I've tried to do so much to, deal with the things that she can't have, to make sure she's getting the right amounts of everything, and no sweets, etc., etc. And then she's got this problem. But with all the different things that I've done, incredibly, one of the back teeth, the enamel regrew, which I don't quite, if you say that to a lot of dentists, they'll roll their eyes because they don't believe it's possible. But on one of the teeth it did. But the other tooth still needs treatment. And we've done various different things, and we've been waiting forever for a dentist appointment. I did look at private appointment because we'd had a couple of appointments in London to see whether we could sort out anything more, to see whether they were any better than the local dentists, but they pretty much confirmed the same thing. So we've got that on Thursday, and then we're all off Friday. Saturday and Sunday, obviously, we're off, and then I'm off the week after. So I have got a lot of holiday to spend going on days out with my daughter, so that's going to be really super. Tracy said, I'm so pleased your plants are actually fine. Great news. You must be so relieved. I'm addicted to sugar, but when I'm really thirsty, I just tell myself all my body actually needs is water. Happy to see you safely home. Yeah, I think, Tracy, a lot of people just won't admit it. If I was to say that to some of my family members about how we're all addicted to sugar, they'd be like, oh, I'm not. And then you see them all the time having their either through drinks or food to get the constant buzz that we all get when we have sugar. Someone once told me that sugar is more addictive than some other substances. I can quite believe it. Carolyn says, I can't wait to see you resume decluttering. I'm with you, Carolyn. I'm quite excited about that. I'm looking for ideas, tips, thoughts and ideas. If you see something in a video and you think I need to get rid of it or change it, please tell me. I agree with you about packing, especially if you're going to be doing the washing. And I also see your point about staying away from San Francisco. So is that because you don't feel like it's safe? I guess all cities have problems, don't they, of their own? But maybe it's a bit less safe than all the problems we had. We were only there for about 5 days. And in those 5 days, we had 3 things that made me feel quite afraid. But I know you get that in all cities. There's good and bad in all cities, isn't there? Just watching this video back did make me smile when I said that we were going to go up the city and look in stationery shops. Don't worry, everybody. I'm not going to be buying pens, pencils, crayons, rulers. It was quite funny. I think I counted 12 rulers, 2 of which I kept because one is actually my husband was my husband's granddad. The other was his aunt's. So I've kept them, even though they're probably not going to be used. But there's quite a few that we've been able to get rid of. So, you know, there's no reason that you need 20-ish rulers, is there? And so many rubbers and so many sharpeners. So I've really managed to clear out this area, and it does make me feel very pleased because I think this is the second time of clearing all this out. When I come to look at it again in a few more months, I'll be able to potentially get rid of even more. So that is really, really good. There's one pencil case full of pens and pencils that I've not done, that I discovered after I spend a lot of time sorting here, but I'll talk about that probably in my next video. And you probably just saw me with a little bear, and that's got a clock on it. And my daughter's had that from a very young age. It's French, and it used to hang on her wardrobe door, and I brought it down because I wanted to do some more clock work with her. Now, I think nowadays, because everything is digital, do you know a lot of children can't tell the time with an analog clock? When I do the invigilating work, I'm told that a significant proportion of the 15, 16-year-olds cannot tell the time using an analog clock. And that's why we have an analog clock up, but then we have it all in digital time as well. So I was going through that with my daughter, and she does remember most of it. Sometimes she gets in a slight confusion if it's like 26 minutes to. She might say 34 minutes past. There's that. I can remember that myself. But I think she's 11. Really, she should know. I feel very confident in that. So I was just running through that with her again. She's got a good understanding of time, but it is because of the use of digital clocks everywhere. On people's watches, on her school tablet, on her personal tablet, on TV, on the clocks around the school. All digital time. It's something you sort of take for granted. I can remember I learned analog time. I wasn't allowed my own watch until I could tell the time. And I can remember I got my own watch. I think it was for my 8th or 9th birthday. And I can remember feeling like put on the spot when the next door neighbour said what was the time. And I had to look at my little watch and tell him what the time was, which thankfully I got right. You can see on the video I've got 2 more bags. So I've got a bag on the right of rubbish, bag on the left with all the pens, felt tips, etc. that I'm going to get rid of. Well, if you've got this far, thank you very much for watching my video. Please do take a moment to let me know where you're from if you've not previously commented. But if you are one of my regular commenters, thank you very much. I want you to all know how much I appreciate and I really love reading your comments. So thank you for your support on this journey. Thank you for your ideas, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!